Hoje, trazemos à luz um tema que toca profundamente nos pilares da justiça internacional. Estamos a falar de um juiz que ocupa uma posição de notória responsabilidade, mas que tem sido acusado de comportar-se mais como um ativista ou político do que como um guardião da imparcialidade.
So, I think when it comes to the makeup of the ICJ, we need to be clear about some of the people that are sitting on it. The current president of the court, Judge Salam, has a vicious anti-Israel track record. He was previously Lebanon's ambassador to the United Nations, where he made speech after speech, calling Israel a terror state, accusing it of war crimes. Don't forget, of course, that the state of Lebanon, because of Hezbollah's actions and what they're doing, is essentially on a war footing with Israel. And this is the judge that has been driving forward not just the advisory opinion of the International Court of Justice that I mentioned in terms of Vice President Sebutinde's dissent, but also he has been driving forward the assessment of South Africa's allegation of genocide against Israel ever since the previous American president of the court who began that set of proceedings, Joan Donoghue, retired. So in the context of the court, you know, the track record of some of the judges is shocking, and in any other context, any other court with an ounce of credibility, I would have expected there to be pressure for a recusal, so that a judge with a clear bias would not sit on a case that concerns issues which they have previously stated a very decided opinion on.
Este vídeo vai detalhar as críticas a este juiz, anteriormente embaixador do Líbano nas Nações Unidas, e agora acusado de ter uma postura anti-Israel agressiva. O que assistimos levanta questões profundas sobre a integridade do sistema judicial internacional, quando figuras judiciais permitem que as suas visões pessoais influenciem as suas responsabilidades jurídicas. Este caso é uma chamada de atenção absolutamente alarmante para a avaliação rigorosa da imparcialidade dos juízes, garantindo que a justiça seja verdadeiramente cega e não um veículo para agendas políticas.
And we shouldn't lose sight of the fact that Israel is our ally and is under attack on three fronts, and it needs to defend itself.
Yes, and interestingly, one of the UN agencies, the UNWRA, some of their operatives were actually directly involved in the massacres that took place on the 7th, and the barbarism that took place on the 7th of October. We learned that the Labour Party is once again going to have the taxpayer funding that organisation.
That was one of the first decisions that they took, despite the accepted evidence now by the UN of complicity of UNRWA employees. But the complicity of this UN organisation in terrorism before the 7th of October as well as on it has been a matter of public record for some time. It's been the subject of reports by UN Watch. The Israelis have estimated some 450 employees of UNRWA are in fact linked to a terrorist organisation, Hamas, Palestinian Islamic Jihad, to name it just two. So in those contexts, the fact that now taxpayer-funded support is being sent to an organisation that has, unfortunately, Nigel, as its raison d'etre, the perpetuation of the conflict, the content of UNRWA textbooks and UNRWA-run schools to encourage
It is alarming. It is alarming. Andrew Rosendale, of course, won't be surprised by this at all.
No, the whole thing is alarming. I rather feared that a Labour government would take this type of approach. I fear for Israel. Israel is a democratic country. It's part of the free world. And if we don't stand with Israel and we allow extremists and terrorists and outside organisations, Iran, to fund Hezbollah, Hamas, the Houthis are now getting involved, this is a very dangerous situation for Israel. And I think the ultimate objective with these people is to push Israel out, to obliterate Israel. And that's what really worries me. So Labour is playing into their hands.
Natasha, Paul makes the point, it's a better party than it was when Corbyn was leading it.
Well, I think they're missing the point that Andrew pointed out, which is at the crux of this. This is the Islamic Republic of Iran. The war that Israel's fighting is now won, unfortunately, on 7 fronts, but Iran stands behind all of them. And what we have seen, especially with these latest revelations with respect to arms licensing, and let's be clear, this is not aid. This is not taxpayer...
Well, there's two separate things.
Yeah, of course.
It is.
But on the arms licensing front, this is exporting British product for commercial reasons, and doing so in circumstances where every review so far by the last Conservative government, by the Americans, has found that Israel is committed to complying with international humanitarian law. Nothing has changed. So it's a policy decision that seems to have been driven by politics, which is missing the encouragement that it is giving to the Islamic Republic and all of its proxies that are supposed to be seeking to wipe Israel off the map, beginning a massive barrage of firing against the Jewish state this evening.
Esperamos que este vídeo tenha proporcionado uma reflexão crítica e informada sobre a importância da imparcialidade judicial. Se gostou deste vídeo, partilhe e meta like para ajudar o canal a divulgar este e outros conteúdos. Não se esqueça de ativar o sininho para não perder as nossas atualizações.